Hey everybody, this is Anthony from Into the Darkroom, and I wanted to share with you today some of the design options you have with the Brooklyn blog template. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the ITDR admin that's located right here in the navigation section of WordPress. I'm going to click on it, and it's going to open up this entire new section for us. And you can see that we have a preview on the right over here of the template, and we have some of our settings over here. I'm currently in the design section, which if you use this drop down, you can get to the different sections. So we're in the design section, and the first tab that I want to go over is just the general settings here. So I'm going to tell you what each of these things are to kind of give you a jump start on how to make some changes to the branding of this. So the first item is the navigation logo mobile breakpoint. Basically what that's saying is that when the browser is in full expanded mode, it's the desktop version, and when it starts to get smaller, it wants to know where the breaking point is for it to go mobile. So we have it set to 600 right now. I think that's a good number. You should probably leave it at that, but if you needed to play around with that for some reason, you can. So we leave that to 600. And then spacing between the post images. So if you go to the blog and you're actually looking at the images, they stack, and the spacing is right here between the images. So if you want that to be tighter or you want that to be larger, you can go ahead and use this toggle to change that setting. So that setting is completely up to you, and based on how tight you have the design, sometimes your margins are a little tighter, you might want to make that tighter. And then the contact form colors right here will correspond to the contact form. So I'm going to go over to the contact page. And you'll see here that we have contact form background valid color. That's just the color that's in here in that actual field, so that's that white. The contact form stroke color, so that's the stroke color around here. The contact form background invalid color and contact form stroke invalid color. So if somebody doesn't fill in one of these required form fields, then they're gonna get a different color on there that says, hey, you have to fill out this form. And then we have the contact form text color, which is this right here. And we have the contact form placeholder color, which will be text that actually fills into this box. Then we have the body link highlight color, which is this button right here for the submit, and the body link background color. So you can see the background color is the gray, and then the actual text is this dark black color. So if you want to change any of these, all you have to do is actually click here, and you can pick a color, or what you can do is you can type your hex code right in there. So you have very specific branded colors. You can do that with any of our color pickers throughout this video. And then when you're done, you go ahead and you click Save at the bottom. So let's go ahead and go over to the Body tab. And if you take a look at the Body tab, you have what we call the maximum width, and that is going to be the width of this body. So this white body right here, it'll be that maximum width. So you can set it to be more of a narrow blog. You can open it up into the browser a little bit more. We have ours set to 1200 pixels. You can change that either by typing here or moving this toggle back and forth. We have the padding tightness. That padding tightness is just going to be all the different padding around the body. So I'm going to show you really quick. We have this border color, the body background color, and the body accent color. So this border color is going to be a border that actually wraps around here. You have a background color that's actually the background of the blog, and I'm going to actually go to the home page because I think it's easier to see. And then you have this body accent color, which is going to be behind the text. So I'm going to change these three colors real quick. Green, and we'll change this to yellow, and we will change this to a blue, and I'm going to click Save, and you're going to see all of this change over here, and you'll see how we have this border color, we have the body background color, which is behind everything, and then we have the accent color that's behind the text. So you can see that if I take this border width and I reduce it down and click Save, you're going to see this blue chop down to really small. So you can play around with all of these settings, and I'm going to go ahead and set these back to what we originally had them. I'm just pasting in this hex code, and I'll go ahead and click Save, and now everything will change back to how it was. You also have this transparent background option where if you wanted the background to be transparent because you want to upload a background and you wanted it to see through, you can do that, so you can mark that as true. You have the ability to have a body shadow color. So around the body there could be like a drop shadow, and you can change the color of that drop shadow, you can change the width, and you can change the opacity. I currently have the width down to 0 so that it doesn't show up, but if I wanted to add that body shadow, I would just turn that up and I would change these settings. And then you have the sidebar accent color. So if you do have a sidebar on your blog, you're going to notice that you can change that accent, which will be behind the text and information. So let's go ahead and go over to the background area. You have a couple of options for the background. You're going to notice that we have a background gradient top and a background gradient bottom. These two are the same color, and you can see that it's this color right here. It's this light gray in the background, and they're blending into each other. If I were to change this and I were to make this a green, you're going to see that it's going to blend the two colors together, so from top to bottom. And I'm going to go ahead and change this back because I want it to be a solid color, and I want it to blend the solid color into each other so that I get one pure color back here. If I wanted to upload a background, I would just upload it right here. I would click Upload New, and I would load an image in there. If you're going to load one big image to fill the frame, you can go ahead and just upload something like 1600 by 1200. Or if you have a tile, you can come in here and change the settings to tile. So it'll just tile all the way across the background. You could tile horizontally or tile vertically, and you can play around with those settings. The tile is going to be a smaller item to upload there. So that's the background, the body, and the basic settings. So now let's go ahead and talk about the logo. So the logo, you have a couple of different options. First of all, here's the logo right here. The placement of the logo is going to be there. And you can see that you can just type that in right away. So if you don't have a logo created yet, or you're getting a logo created, or you're maybe just getting this blog up and running, you might just want to go ahead and type in your name or your studio name, and it'll load right here. And then you have the ability to change the settings of the colors and the margin, which is going to be the space around that logo, and then the text size. So you can change the sizes of this text. I recommend that if you do that, you can go ahead and kind of enhance it a bit by uploading a logo font zip file. And I have directions on how to upload a logo zip file for the fonts, so that it'll change the font that this actually reads in, and so that you can do that right here. And then you have a logo font fallback. So just in case of any device that it doesn't work for, it'll fall back to a serif or sans serif. But if you want to type in your logo, you can go ahead and use these options here where you type it in, you change the colors, change the margins, change the text size, and then you can also upload a font that'll change this as well. If you have a PNG or JPEG, you can go ahead and just upload it right here. The site logo minimum is 40 pixels tall. You don't want to do a 600 pixel wide logo. Try and keep it about 250 pixels at the widest. You really don't want it to be a banner up there. If you go to any site, you're going to notice that any nicely designed site is going to have a nice small logo somewhere, but you don't have to overdo it. So keep that in mind. If you want your logo to be retina displayed, you want to double the size of whatever the logo pixels are. So if you were originally going to do it 50 by 150, then you're going to make it 100 by 300, and then you're going to mark this as true. And then you have the option in either case to go ahead and link it somewhere. So if you wanted your logo to link to a specific page or link somewhere, you can type it in here, decide if it opens in a new window or the same window. And then you have the logo position for the mobile view. So it can change for the mobile view because the mobile view will reorient itself, and sometimes it looks better if it's centered. So you have that option in here as well. And so we just went over the logo, the settings, the body, and the background. And now I'm going to go ahead and go into the header, and we're going to talk about the options that you have for the header. So the header is this, on the home page is this scrolling image slideshow right here, and you have a couple of options. And so use header on all pages. You can mark that as true, and then that header will appear on every page that you create. So your portfolio pages, your blog page, your contact page, everything. So if you want that scrolling image header to actually show, you can go ahead and mark that as true. You have the header animation speed, which will change the speed of the slideshow. And then you have the header advanced speed, and you can change that in seconds. So those are just a couple of timing options that you have to play around with. And then we'll go ahead and cover this a little bit more in uploading images to that area when we go to the drop down here and we go to header images. So to get images in there, we have this separate section, and it's header images. And all you have to do is at the bottom here, I'm going to move this up a little bit, you can click upload, and you can upload your images right into here. We have our set for this specific template to 1600 by 900. Make sure all your images are cropped and saved web ready. And then once they're in here, if you want to sort them, you can click this sort button, and you can just drag them around and reorganize them, and then click save. And that is it. So we covered the header image tab and the design tab for this blog. And I hope that was helpful, and I'll be making additional videos as we go. Thanks so much for watching.